Hi, you guys. All right, I'm back with another 60-minute reformer for you. Finally, a 60-minute reformer on YouTube, right? I know you've been waiting a while. Today's class is going to be focused on injury prevention for runners. Okay, so this class is going to be a full body class. Absolutely anyone is welcome to take this class, but if you are a runner and that is a modality that you do on a regular basis, this class is going to be fantastic just to prevent any things that might be creeping up during the off hours, right? So if you're running on a regular basis, it is important that we stretch. It is important that we strength train in between those running times, okay? And maybe in the off season, right, if you're a race runner. I'm not a race runner, but I run almost every day. I've been a runner for many, many years. I'm even wearing my little running gear for you today, which, just a little plug for On. This is by far the most wonderful running top I've ever owned. It's like, I feel like I'm wearing nothing. It's like light as air. It has all these little micro holes in it so that it breathes, but it's so light that I feel like I'm wearing nothing. So On did a really nice job with this one. So I figured I'd wear this top for class today. Okay, so not sponsored at all. I just really love this top. So like I said, if you run on a regular basis, you need to make sure that those little aches and pains that start to creep up, that they don't take on the form of an injury, right? And I'm talking about our feet, our ankles, our knees, our hamstrings, right? Sometimes the quads start to creep in there. And sometimes the upper body can be a little full of tension, okay? So we're gonna work all of that today. There's gonna be a decent amount of stretching in there, okay? But I am gonna ask you for some balance, some stability, lots of control, okay? And a ton of mobility. All right, so that's what we got. Now let me go over reformer setup for you today. Not too complicated, but I'm gonna explain from front to back. You want your jump board up today. Jump board locked and in position. We are not going to take it off, but we're not gonna use it the whole time. All right, we're gonna start with it and then it'll creep in from time to time. Spring load. You have one red or one heavy spring on to start. After the first sequence, we're gonna drop that right away, okay, but I want you to start on that one heavy spring. As far as external props go today, you're gonna need a light resistance band, resistance loop, okay? So this is my lightest loop. My band is from Synergy. It doesn't really matter what color or what brand your band is. I am gonna ask that you use a rubber band though, and of the lightest resistance, because it's gonna be around the arms when we use it, because I'm gonna want you to plug those arms into your back, and I wanna get into your back body today, specifically for my runners, okay? So I would love for you to have a light rubber loop, okay? That's gonna be on your carriage to start, and we're only gonna use it from time to time. Shoulder blocks are on. Headrest is either up or down. We are gonna start on our back with some jumping. If you like your headrest up because that gives you better alignment, fantastic. Do what works best for you. Straps. You are, actually I was gonna say you're not gonna touch your straps, but you are. There is one sequence that we're gonna use our straps. I'm gonna have you choke up on them. So it does not matter whether it's loops or handlebars or what size loops you're using. I'm gonna have you choke up on the strap, okay? And then your box. You're gonna have your reformer box out alongside the frame. If you're looking from front to back, it's gonna be on the left side. And I would love for the top of your box to be lined up with the top of your headrest. Okay, that's gonna give you a decent alignment for all of us. I will speak to that when we are in the work so that if you need to make adjustments, you can, all right? But it's long box style and right up against the frame, okay? And that's everything. Join me on the carriage, grab your loop, okay? You have one red spring on, all right? You're gonna lay down on your back, head on the headrest, up or down, your choice. Give yourself a little bit of breathing room between your shoulders and your shoulder blocks. You're gonna take that resistance loop and you're gonna place it around your forearms. Now, if you don't have a resistance loop and you'd like to just go body weight today, that's absolutely an option. You could also throw in some light dumbbells if you'd rather. I'm talking 2 to 3 pounds a piece, okay? All right, now your arms are gonna start up and over your chest. I want you to have your palms facing in, and I want you to have some tension on your loop. So your arms should be shoulder width apart. Plug your arms into your back. That means your shoulder blades should be grounded on the carriage. Collarbone nice and wide. You're gonna press your legs out to 2 straight legs, hips width apart. Okay, so like you're standing up on them, but there's space in between your legs. Your feet are flat, all right? Your toes are shining straight up, so we're in parallel. From here, we're gonna simply bend our knees and then come into releve after that, all right? So right here, I want you to keep your heels connected to the carriage. As you let your knees bend, your heels stay down, so you're only gonna bend as far as you can, keeping your heels connected. Okay, knees are tracking with big toe, second toe. Now we're gonna press all the way back to 2 straight legs and lift the heels so we're on the balls of our feet. Okay, opening up the front side of the ankle, finding releve. All right, tailbone is heavy in the carriage. Here we go. Heels down, knees bend. Keep your heels connected to the carriage. Keep a neutral pelvis. Right? That means those hip bones are shining straight up. And now we press out to 2 straight legs. Heels rise into releve. Heels down, knees bend. Good. Keep that tailbone connected. Keep that little bit of breathing room under your low back. Lift into releve. Good. Lower the heels. I want you to try to make this as smooth as possible. Okay, you're going to start to feel the upper body heat up a little bit. That's great. All right, I want you to work into your back. Good, and then we press into that releve 2 more times. Heels down, knees bend. Keep that heel connected. I'm looking for ankle mobility and strength here. Good, and then we lift the heels, find releve. Last time, heels down, knees bend. Good, legs straighten, heels lift. Now, heels down, we're gonna go right into full range of motion jumps. You're gonna bend both knees, keep your heels connected. And then on your inhale, you're gonna hop and pulse out on your band. Inhale, pulse out. Okay, so your inhale is every time you leave the jump board, exhale, land. Now I'm looking for full articulation through the foot. So that means when we leave the jump board, we're leaving heel, ball, toe. And when we land, we're landing toe, ball, heel. Okay, so you can kind of repeat that pattern in your head. I want you to make sure that you're pulsing out on this band from your back body, not from your elbows, not from your wrists, from your back. It doesn't need to be a large opening. Okay, every time we land, my heel makes a solid connection to the jump board, and it doesn't get to lift until I leave the jump board. Okay, I'm holding that neutral spine. So I have a tiny little bit of breathing room under my low back. In other words, I'm not mashing my low back into the carriage, which is gonna send me into a posterior tilt, right? Then we lose some of that core engagement, all right? Good, knees are bending. So working on a form of footwork here, ankle mobility, right? Strength, alignment. Stay with me. You're here for 8. Good. 7, 6, still pulsing out on that band. Last 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Stay right here. Okay, extend to 2 straight legs. Arms are still up and over your chest, shoulder width apart. I want you to take your right leg and you're gonna hover the right leg over the jump board. So point those toes. Now, your left elbow is gonna pull down to the carriage. Palm is still facing in. I just want you to hold that left arm pulled down. So the left tricep is connected to your carriage. It's gonna stay right there. Your right arm is still up. Okay, so we're causing a diagonal pull, right? A cross-body connection right here. On your exhale, you're gonna bend your left knee, right leg is over the jump board, keep your left heel connected, and now you're gonna jump on that left leg. Inhale, hop. Good, hop. Excellent. Keeping the neutral spine and pelvis, okay? I want you to make sure that that tailbone is heavy, All right, your belly button is drawn up and back between your shoulder blades. And again, we're not mashing that low back. You're gonna feel a little more through the upper body here. That's okay, all right? I want you to think about that cross body connection, right? That right shoulder, that right arm that's up, connected to your left hip with that leg that's jumping. Okay, now that left leg is gonna have a little bit of choreography. You're gonna land once in parallel, like we are now, and then you're gonna land the next time externally rotated. Back to parallel, externally rotate. Good, back to parallel, externally rotate. Now, when you externally rotate, that means your inner thigh shines up towards the sky. Okay, so you're rotating the top of your leg, the femur bone, that's the top of your thigh bone, in your hip. You're rotating that. That's how we get that turnout. Okay, I want you to land in that turnout, and then when you come back to the next landing, you're back in parallel. So we're really working that mobility of the femur in the left hip. Okay, hang on. Keep alternating that landing. External, parallel. Now, when you land in external rotation, same rules apply. That heel needs to make a solid connection to the jump board. Okay, you're here for 6. Keep breathing that inhale as you leave for 5. Good, last 4. You've got 3. Hang on to it. 2. Good, last 1. Land in parallel. And extend that right leg all the way out. Now, I'm sorry, that left leg all the way out. Right leg comes back to the jump board. Both arms extend up and over the chest. I'll give them a moment to just breathe and relax. Okay, find tension on that band again. So insert those shoulder blades into the carriage, spread your collarbone wide. Okay, draw that belly button up and in. Right elbow pulls down to the carriage, glue that tricep to the carriage. Left arm is still extended and lifted, okay? Now, from here, left leg extends over the jump board, point that toe. We're gonna do the same thing on this side so we don't come back to this again. On your exhale, you're gonna bend your right knee, keep that heel connected and strong. Inhale as you hop and leave. Good, inhale, exhale, land. Working through that full foot articulation, okay? I like to think of jumping as a form of footwork. It's fantastic breath work as well, okay? I'm not asking you for power, excessive power through your leg. You're giving me a little power, right, with that jump, but I'm not looking for how much power you can drive through that right leg. I don't want you hitting the rear of the frame, okay? Use your breath, use your core. Inhale, exhale, land. Inhale, exhale, land. Good. Now we're gonna start to add that rotation, okay? Landing once in external and landing once in parallel in 3. Good, last 2. Last 1, let's alternate that landing. Land once in external, once in parallel. External and parallel. Good. Okay, think about your upper body. Try to make those wrists as straight as possible. Good, we're rotating that right femur in the hip bone, in the hip socket. Okay, so the top of that thigh bone, that's a ball in, what am I trying to think of? It's a ball and socket joint. I'm losing my words. So they are the most mobile joints in our body. There's only 2, right? It's at the shoulder and at the hip. So I want you to really think about how important that mobility is, okay? Hang on. Keep that rotation nice and smooth. Keep connecting that heel to the jump board. You're here for 6. Good. Hang on. For 5, parallel to external. Good. 4. Last 3. Last 2. Good. Last 1. Land in parallel. Extend the right leg. and put the left foot back on the jump board, arms up. Arms can come all the way down. Let's take off that band. You're gonna bend your knees to let the carriage come in, and then take your feet over towards the box to come on up. Leave your band on your carriage for right now, okay? We're gonna change our springs back to one blue now. Okay, so one blue spring goes on. Take off your heavy spring. So that blue is either a light to medium spring. I'm in Balanced Body World, so blue is my light and medium. Okay, just one spring. Now, you're gonna turn to face your box, okay? We're gonna work on a little more hip mobility here. So your right foot is gonna come up to your box, all right? Your left foot is on the ground. We're gonna start in a lunge though. So what I want you to do is take that left leg and step it back behind you so that that forces the torso to tilt. You have a long line from the crown of your head out your left heel. Your left heel is lifted back there. So you're on the ball of your left foot. Your weight is in the box, okay? Your weight is on that right foot, knee is bent. Check that right knee, make sure it is tracking with big toe, second toe. Okay, now, I'm gonna ask you to clasp your hands, okay? If you'd rather have them in prayer, that's fine too. You're gonna have them right at chest center, okay? Collarbone nice and wide. Again, torso is tilting, ribs are wrapping. All right, now from here, we're gonna step up to the box, and as we do that, that left knee is gonna pull up in front of our hip. So we're gonna start to find some balance. Here we go. You're gonna step up, left knee in front of the hip, hold. So strength and stability on one leg. That's not easy. Now we're also asking for balance. So take your time. The first couple out of the gate are gonna be a little wobbly. Right knee is gonna be soft. That left knee stays in front of your hip. Let's flex that left foot strong. Okay, now your left leg is gonna open up. So you're gonna open that inner thigh like a door, open that leg to the left as far as you can, keeping your torso forward. All right, so we're staying square to the rear of the machine. Now bring that knee back in front of the hip. Now we're gonna do some controlled articulated rotations. So that left knee is gonna come down under the hip. You're gonna pull it back behind the hip, but keep your torso upright. Now circle that knee out to the side, up and around back in front of the hip. Let's go the other way. Knee goes out to the side, down and back, under the hip, and back up. Now, we're gonna find a hinge. So that left leg is gonna reach behind you as your torso tilts, okay? You're looking for a long line hinge. So you're gonna point your left toe. Your chest is gonna become parallel to the box. I want you to level out your pelvis. Good, relax and breathe. Come all the way back up to that Liberty position, knee in front of the hip. And now you're gonna take that left foot and you're stepping it all the way back to your lunge where you started. I know it's a lot, right? That was a lot, but we're gonna do it again. Okay, so you're in your lunge, you're exactly where you started this sequence. Your left heel is lifted. Here we go. Power and strength through that right leg as we step up to the box, left knee in front of the hip, flex that foot. Open the door, close the door. Good. Left knee pulls down under the hip, back, out and around. Now let's go the other way. Open the door, down and back, under the hip, and back up. Good. Now find your long line hinge. Torso tilts at the same rate that that left leg travels behind you. You're going to point that left toe now. You're going to level out your pelvis. Keep the right knee soft so that you can adjust. That proprioception, that balance is going to adjust, but it can't if the joint is stiff and locked. Bring the left knee back in front of the hip and step back to your lunge. Yes, okay, 2 more. Take your time. If that left foot needs to tap down at any point to find stability, that's what happens. That's okay. Every day is different. Okay, here we go. Strength through that right leg. We come up to the box, left knee in front of the hip, flex the foot. Open the door. It does help if you find a place for your eyes to fixate on. Okay, it's gonna help your balance. Left knee down under the hip, back, out and around, big rotation from that femur and the hip. That's what we're looking for, okay? Controlled, articulated rotation. Out to the side, down and back, under the hip and up. Now let's find that long line hinge. Torso tilts, left leg reaches behind you. Okay, hold, point the toe. My eyes are on the box. Everything's nice and strong. Come all the way back up slowly. Find your balance as you go, and step back to your lunge. Whew. Okay, a right leg's getting tired, huh? Okay, one more time. This slow, controlled movement is pivotal in your running, okay? So here we go. Step back up into that box, okay? Flex that left foot, hold. Open the door, range of motion. Close the door. Left knee goes down under the hip, back, out and around. Good. Out to the side, down, up and around. Good. Now we find that long line hinge. Torso tilts, toe points. Last time we find this on this side. Pull all the way back to start. Find your balance. And pull back to your lunge. Whoo! Now, one time step up to your box, both feet. Okay, now your right foot is coming to your carriage. Okay, so right foot, the toes are gonna be at the top of the carriage, outside your shoulder block. Your left foot is gonna stay on the box, and it's gonna come close to the frame. Okay, that back right corner is where you want your heel. Make sure the foot is flat on the box. Okay, now, hands are gonna go on your hips. I want you to start nice and tall. Weight is in the box. Okay, but we're gonna shift that weight into the carriage. So, right knee is already bent. We're gonna find a lunge. So keeping the bend in the right knee, we're gonna slide the carriage forward as the torso tilts. But this time, I want you to keep your back heel, your left heel, connected to the box. Don't let it peel up. You're gonna feel a nice big stretch through the Achilles and calf up into the back side of the knee and hamstring. Keep it there. Okay, now, holding this, you've got a lot of resistance fighting you on that carriage. I want you to think about, again, that long line from the crown of the head out the left heel. Your right knee is tracking with big toe, second toe, and your right knee, when it's bent, it is over the middle of the footbed. Okay, now from here, we're gonna access that right hamstring. On your inhale, you're gonna send that right heel all the way out, extending the back of your right knee. If you can get fully straight, I want you to do that. Okay, and then you're gonna slowly, with control, allow the knee to bend again. Back into that lunge position, okay? Inhale, extend through the right leg. Exhale, bend. Good. Inhale, use your breath. I don't want that resistance to control you. You control the carriage, okay? Inhale. Find a place for your eyes again if balance is a little tricky here, because you are in a narrow base of support with your legs this close together, right? They're forward and back, right, in that sagittal plane, but you don't have a lot of balance side to side in that frontal plane, okay? And bend. Good, 3 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Good, 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Last one, I want you to hold this one extended. Hold it there. Okay, now we're gonna add in a curtsy. Okay, so you're gonna bend this right knee. Okay, but you're also gonna allow the carriage to come all the way back home. So you're standing up now. Now that right leg on the carriage is gonna cross behind you, stepping behind the box, crossing your midline, and you're gonna find a deep curtsy, challenging your knees, okay? So left knee should be tracking with your big toe, your second toe. Your right knee is just lining up with the middle of the box or somewhere around there, okay? Your right heel is lifted back there. Now we're gonna power through this left leg as we step back up to the carriage where we started. Let's find that lunge. Inhale. Good, extend through the back of the right heel. Open up the back of the right leg all the way. Good. Bend it with control. Let the carriage come in as we stand up on our left leg. And then we take that right leg into that deep curtsy off the box. Good. Back up, power up, back to the carriage. Slide into that lunge. Hold it. Good. Extend and open the back of the right leg. Bend it with control. Good. Come all the way back up. Curtsy off the box. Curtsy. Good. Stand it back up. Good. Excellent. 3 more. Find that lunge. Lean into it. Find that diagonal line up the back side of the body. Extend and open the back of the right leg. Bend it with control. Come all the way back in. Find your curtsy. Good. Power back up to the carriage. Find your lunge. Good. Extend and open the back of the right leg. Bend it with control. Come all the way back in. Step off the box, find that curtsy. Good, all the way back up. Last time. Okay, I'm gonna ask you for a little bit more stretch after this. You're gonna extend and open the back of that right knee. Bend it with control. Come all the way back home. Curtsy off the carriage. Now, come all the way back up. Find your lunge. So slide into your lunge. Hold it right there. Now, you are going to forward fold. So we're going to reach our sternum for our knee as we take the right hand to the shoulder block and the left hand out into a T. Okay, now holding this right. If you want your left hand on the shoulder block as well, that's okay as well. All right, a little more stability. Left arm is out in a T though, if you can manage that. We're gonna extend the back of the right leg right here. So you're gonna open up, sending that right heel forward, bigger stretch up into the hamstring and the glute. Hold right here. If you can slide the carriage slightly forward in this extended position, great. Make sure your left heel is still connected to the box. You're here for 6. Breathe into it for 4. Don't hold your breath. Last 3. Last 2. Bend that right knee and slide all the way back home. Okay. We're going to take this box onto the carriage, all right? So carefully step off. You want to grab that resistance loop, put it on top of your box, and now your box is coming onto your carriage, long box style. Okay, so you want the box either in front of or over the shoulder blocks. Whatever gives you better support, meaning I would like the least amount of box hanging off over the springs. So if that means you need to put it over your shoulder blocks, that's absolutely fine, okay? So find your position. Once you have that, you're gonna take the loop in your hands, okay? And you're gonna lie down on your stomach, all the way down. All right, now I want you to make sure that your chest is off the edge of the box and over the shoulder blocks, okay? Now set your loop down for just a second on your headrest. Hands are gonna come to the frame. As you pull yourself out, I want you to bring your feet onto your jump board. Okay, so your feet are gonna be in first position, heels together, toes turned out, all right, so that's external rotation from the femur in the hip, all right, and I want you to stay right there. Legs are straight, all right, so you have the carriage out a little bit from the springs or from the bumper. Now take that rubber loop and place it around your forearms. Okay, now your arms are going to be extended off your chest, but right now I would love for you to have your arms down inside the rear well. Okay, so you're a little more relaxed. Let's draw the belly button up and in. All right, so we feel like the ribs are wrapping and the belly button is almost hovering off the box. Collarbone is wide. Keeping your legs straight, nothing's going to change right there. On your inhale, you're going to lift the upper body. Palms are in, hold it. Now rotate your palms to face down, and you're gonna give me a W pull. Elbows are gonna pull down and back towards your hip. The band is gonna come across your chest. Okay, I'm looking above my rear risers. Extend the arms and lower into that start position. Okay, here we go. Re-engage the core. Inhale, lift. Rotate palms down. Give me that big wide W pull into your back. Good. Extend. Palms in and lower. Okay. Now you're probably like, why are we working the back? Isn't this a runner's? Yes, it is. Your arms move when you run, and I want them to move from your back. If your back is not strong, you're going to feel compensation, okay, because we need to stay upright when we run. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Inhale, lift, palms down. Give me that big W pull. Extend those arms, palms in and lower. Okay, one more time like that. Inhale, lift, palms down. So little back extension, right? Pull those elbows down and back. Keep those heels connected. Mine were separating. Extend and lower. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you to hold that. All right, so we're gonna come into that back extension and hold it this time. So here we go. You're gonna lift and hold, palms down. Only the W pull for 4. Elbows down and back. And then we extend. Good, down and back. And then we extend. 2 more, down and back. And then we extend 1 more, down and back. And then we extend and lower. Take your band off. Place the band on your headrest, okay? Hands are gonna grab the pegs where your loops are hung up, or you can grab the top of your shoulder blocks, okay? You can grab the top of your carriage as long as it's not gonna, your fingers are not gonna hit the rails, okay? All right, so find a place, elbows in, almost hugging your box. Your feet are still in first position, okay? Now we have a long spine, so we're not in extension. I'm looking straight down at the well, above the headrest. I'm not letting my head hang, okay? Back of the neck is long. From here, we're gonna do some of those flicks, okay, through the feet. So keeping your legs completely straight and zipped up, still in first position. You're gonna roll and give me a hop through your toes and land. Hop and land. Good, knees are not bending, okay? Legs are zipped up. Good, collarbone is wide. Belly button is pulled up and in. Good, ribs are wrapping. Nice, strong core. Good. Right here, this is it. Nice and simple, not easy, but simple. You're gonna feel the back of the leg light up a little bit more. You're here for 6, 5, 4, 3. Good. Last 2. Last 1. Now stay here, keep your feet in first position, but now the carriage is gonna come in because your knees are gonna bend and you're gonna bring your feet up over the box, okay? So my heels are still connected, my feet are flexed. My knees are open the width of the box, okay? Now I need you to choke up on your straps. All right, so you're gonna choke up all the way by that metal carabiner or by the knot, whatever yours look like. That's absolutely fine, might be different than mine. Okay, your arms are gonna come outside the frame. Collarbone wide again. Again, let's try to hover and wrap the ribs and belly button. Okay, now from here, keeping the heels connected and strong, you're gonna take those arms and you're gonna pull them up and back as you find a back extension. Inhale. Exhale, come down with control. Okay, let's do it again. Try to keep those wrists nice and straight. Inhale, we pull from our back, we lift with our sternum. I want you to think about your sternum, right? Chest center, right here. It's just like the arc reactor in Iron Man's chest, right? Okay, I like to use that analogy because as you pull up and back, I want you to think of a beam of light shooting right from that arc reactor, right there. Collarbone wide, and then lower with control. Okay, inhale. Exhale, no momentum, all control. Okay, you're gonna start to feel your back body a lot more, okay? And there's a purpose for that. The top of the glutes are really gonna engage. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now, I need you to hold the next one, okay? Here we go. We're gonna lift and hold it Arms are up and back. Now I want you to try to get a little lift from the tops of your thighs. So a little more glute engagement. We're gonna pulse up and down. Heels up and down. My heels are still connected. Up and down. Up and down. 4 more. Pressing the pubic bone into the box, right? Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And release it all the way down. Hang up your straps. Whoo, holy moly, be happy we're done being prone. Come up onto your hands and knees. Okay, so now we're in quadruped position, still facing the rear. Your heels of your hands are at the top edge of your box, shoulder width apart. Your knees are also hips width apart. Okay, now I want you to take your right leg, because that's the one we started working. So right leg is gonna extend out and over the jump board, okay? Level off your hips. You're gonna feel heavy connection from your right palm to your left shin. That's fantastic, okay? Now, your right knee is gonna pull under the hip and extend back out over the jump board. Under the hip, over the jump board. 2 more. We're gonna take this back into those controlled, articulated rotations, okay, through the right hip. Hold the next one extended. Now, you're gonna bend your right knee, bringing your heel towards your butt. Stay there. Now, keeping the heel or the foot flexed, you're gonna bring your right knee under your hip. It's gonna come towards your chest and then travel out to the right, up and around. Do it again. Knee towards the chest, out to the right, up and around. Keep your pelvis quiet. Now we're gonna go the other way. From underneath the hip, you're gonna take your heel towards the ceiling, out to the side, and down. Good. Up to the ceiling, out to the right, and down. Good. Let's go the other way. Knee to the chest, out and around, back under the hip. Good. So we're alternating directions for every 2. Every 2. Okay, so now the knee is back under your hip. Let's go up and back, out to the side, and around. Pelvis stays quiet. That's the goal, right? We're working on the mobility of the femur in the hip. And place that right knee back down. Very nice job. Okay, we're gonna switch to the other side. So right knee is under the hip. Left leg, okay? You're gonna extend that left leg out and over the jump board. Hold it there. Okay, that left knee pulls under the hip and extends back out over the jump board. Under the hip, this is where I just want you to get used to the weight shift, right? Get those shoulders squares, get your hips square, so that when we go into the rotations, there's not too much body weight shifting or movement, okay? Hold the next one extended. Flex your left foot, pull the heel towards the butt. Hold, so you're lengthening your quad, right, the front of the thigh. Engaging your hamstring. That left knee is gonna come under the hip towards the chest, out to the left, around and back. Good. Again, towards the chest, out and around, under the hip. Now we go up towards the ceiling, out to the left, and back under the hip. Again, up to the ceiling, out and around, back under the hip. Again, towards the chest, out and around, and under the hip. Towards the chest, out and around, under the hip. Now go back the other way. Heel towards the sky, out and around, under the hip. One more time. Heel to the sky, out and around, under the hip, and put that left knee down. Very nice job. Okay, you're gonna have a seat facing the rear risers. Okay, so have a seat on your box, feet on your headrest. Ignore your loop, you still don't need it right now. Okay, we're gonna prop ourselves up on our forearms. So we're gonna work a little bit on those hip flexor strength and engagement, okay? So front line of the body. You're gonna take the forearms and bring them down onto the box. So you're in a propped up position. Collarbone wide, your elbows are underneath your shoulders, okay? Now, I would love for you to get your palms flat on the box. If you're in ninja palms where your thumbs are up, that's okay too. But I would love for you to work on the bone rhythm of the palms flat. Okay, now, my legs are gonna be zipped up. We're gonna bring both legs up into tabletop. Point your toes. Open the front line of your ankles. Okay, so there's a purpose when I ask you to point and flex today. I want you to work on the foot and ankle mobility, all right? Your legs are zipped up so we have the strength and control of our midline. If you need to do one leg at a time and alternate, that is absolutely an option. I'm gonna do both legs at the same time, but you can always alternate, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with a hip opener. Keeping your knees bent, your ribs are in line with your hips, you have a strong core. They are not allowed to move. No rib flare. We're gonna open the front of the hips, keeping the knees bent. So open your seat crease. Your feet might tap the headrest. That's good. They don't have to. Okay, and then we're gonna come all the way back to tabletop. Now the legs are gonna extend. Inhale, lengthen, and reach over your shoulder blocks and headrest, and pull them back to tabletop. Now, like I said, if you need to do one leg at a time, okay, you can do that. Okay, and you can alternate leg extensions. That's always an option. Okay, here we go. Hip opener, opening that seat crease. Nothing changes with your ribs and your pelvis. If they are changing, you're going too far for your body today. I need you to be able to maintain control and alignment. Okay, extend, inhale. Exhale, bend. Good. Shoulders away from your ears. You're lifting out of your elbows. Okay, open your hips, inhale. Exhale, engage the psoas, pull the leg up. The psoas is connected to the femur at the top of the thigh bone. It connects up into the spine. That is a part of your core, your deep core. Okay, legs extend. And bend. Good. Open the front of your seat crease. Pull them back up. Legs extend. Good. Whew. 3 more. Open. Exhale, pull back. Good. Legs extend. If you're shaking, that's all that connective tissue working. That's a beautiful thing. Open the front of your hips. Shaking is good, not bad. Pull it up. Good. And extend. Good. And bend. One more like that. Open. Bring it back. Legs extend. And then they bend. Now, I want you to hold them extended this time. Okay, so here we go. Hold them extended. Rotate into first position. Okay, so your heels are together, toes turned out. External rotation. You're gonna bend your knees, froggy bend, flex your feet, and press back out, zip it up. Bend your knees, froggy bend. Your knees are tracking with big toe, second toe, and then they zip back up through the inner thighs. Pelvic floor, inner thighs. Bend and press. 3 more. Bend and press. Good. 2 more. Bend and press. Last one. You're going to hold this one extended again. Point your toes. Stay in first position. Over and under. Over and under. Over and under. Inner thighs crisscross from the pelvic floor for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it all the way in. Come on up. Oh, we felt that. Yes. Okay. We're taking the box off now, right? I'm just double checking. Yes, we're taking the box off. So step off to your right. Okay, you're going to take that box down. Line it up exactly like it was on the other side. So long box, top of the box lined up with the top of your headrest. Okay, that's the general alignment we had on the other side. Now, depending on height, you can always adjust that further back if you need to. That's absolutely an option. Leave your rubber loop where it is. We don't need it yet. We're going to start with those hamstring extensions on the box. So step up to your box. This time, your left foot will come onto the carriage. Your right foot is in that back left corner of the box. All right, so parallel legs, both sets of toes shine forward. All right, your left knee is already bent, but we're standing up on our right leg. Hands on your hips. Okay, roll your shoulders down your back. We just got out of some work where we got into the neck extensor muscles too. So you might be feeling those right now, and that's not a bad thing. We're gonna come forward into that lunge. So leaning into the carriage, sternum guides the way. My left knee tracks with big toe, second toe, okay, and is over the middle of my footbed. So find that. Don't be afraid to make adjustments. I have to make adjustments constantly, okay? My right heel is connected to the box, so I feel a massive stretch up through my right calf. Okay, stay there. From here, we're gonna work with that resistance on the carriage as we extend and open the back of the left knee. Exhale, bend with control. Okay, now you may notice differences from side to side now that we're working on that other side. Differences from leg to leg, from hip to hip, from the balance, okay? That's normal. We're not perfectly symmetrical human beings. None of us are, okay? So there's gonna be little compensations, and as you learn your body and you start to work into this movement, you will find those little nuances and you'll be able to strengthen and work on them. So we become stronger runners, okay? And find that alignment as you bend. Okay, inhale, extend, open the back of that left knee. Exhale, bend with control. Good, 3 more. Inhale and exhale. We're gonna start to add that curtsy. So that's gonna bring us into some deep knee flexion. Watch your range of motion if the knees are sensitive, okay? Last one. Now you're gonna bend back into your lunge, but we're also gonna rise back up, okay? So that we're standing up on that right leg, sternum over pubic bone, and we take that left leg off the carriage, cross the midline, and find that deep curtsy. Now stay there for a moment. Your right knee still needs to track with big toe, second toe. Find that alignment. Your left knee is somewhere around the middle of the box, okay? Shoulders are square to the top of the box. Okay, powering through the right leg. We come back up to the carriage, okay, and we come into that lunge. Okay, keep the right heel connected on the box. Give me that hamstring extension on the left leg. Control it, okay, because that's gonna send the femur into the hip. So I need you to control that because that can send you off balance, right? Now we rise all the way back up. Remember, you control the carriage, it does not control you. Deep curtsy. Power back through the box, left foot on the carriage, find your lunge. So lots of balance and control here. Open the back of the left leg. Good, level out your hips, keep them level. Bend that left knee. Rise all the way back up. Deep curtsy off the box. Good, come back up. Find that lunge. Good, hold it. Extend through the left hamstring. Good, and bend. Now if you did move your box closer to the rear, it's going to be harder to control that resistance, okay? Deep curtsy. 2 more. Come back to the carriage. Good, find your lunge. Open up the back of the left hamstring. Bend. Good, rise and find that curtsy. Good, 1 more. Come up, nice graceful connection to the carriage. Find that lunge, hold it. Extend the back of the left knee, open it up. Good, bend it with control. Rise and find that curtsy. Good, now we're gonna come back up. Now this time I need you to find that lunge and hold it again. Find it and hold it. Okay, right heel is connected on the box. Left foot is flat. We have that tilt, nice diagonal line up the back side of the body. My left hand is gonna come to the shoulder block, forward fold. My right arm to a T. Remember, you have your option of bringing the right hand to the shoulder block as well if you'd like to. Okay, now from here, you're gonna open up that left leg and find that bigger stretch all the way up into the hamstring and glute. Okay, hold that stretch. If you can creep the carriage forward just slightly, extending and opening, that's fantastic. Stay right there. 6, breathe. 5, 4, last 3, and 2. Good, bend that knee with control and rise all the way back up. Nice job, you guys. Okay, now step down to the floor. We're gonna switch the foot on the box. So the left foot's going on the box this time, okay? Your right foot is gonna find that lunge position, so let's do that. Right leg steps back, okay? You're in that long diagonal again up the back side of the body, but this time your right heel is lifted. Okay, right heel is off the floor. Clasp those hands, open up the collarbone. We need to find power to step up to this box. Power and then balance, okay? So lots of strength through this left leg to start. Here we go. Inhale, rise up, right knee in front of the hip. Now right away, you're gonna be like, one side was stronger than the other. Okay, that's okay, okay? Balance is not symmetrical at all. All right, so right knee is in front of the hip, flex that right foot. Okay, now this is where we need that stability. Left knee is soft, so we can find that proprioception. We can work and shift. We can't shift if we're stiff. Okay, now right leg is gonna open the door. We open that inner thigh to shine forward. Keep the chest shining forward, we're not twisting. Bring the right knee back in front of the hip. Now we do those controlled articulated rotations. Right knee goes down under the hip, back, out and around, woo, back in front of the hip. Now we go the other way. Open the door, come down and back, under the hip and back up. Okay, now we find that long line hinge. Right leg travels back at the same rate that the chest becomes parallel to the box. Point your toe. Soften that left knee. Good. Collarbones wide. I'm looking at the top of my box. Come all the way back up. Those inner thighs, they just bypass one another. That keeps us close to our midline. Then the right foot steps back to that lunge. I'm telling you, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. All right, so this is my less controlled side, so I may need to zip it. Okay, we're in that lunge. Ready? You got 3 more times through that. Here we go. Power up to the box. Woo, and don't be afraid to tap down if you have to. Right foot flexed. Okay, here we go. Open the door. Close the door. Rotation down, back, out and around. Remember, as much mobility from the top of that thigh bone. Open, down, back, and in front of the hip. Now, find your long line hinge. Right leg travels back. Okay, chest is starting to tilt. We find that long line and we hold it. Good, come back up. Right knee in front of the hip. Step back to your lunge. Excellent. 2 more times through. Okay, here we go. Power up to the box. Find your balance. Flex your foot. Open the door. Close the door. Find a place for your eyes. That was one thing I was forgetting to do. Right knee comes down, back, out and around. Good. Now we open it and we go down, back, and up. Okay, find your long line hinge. Good, come all the way back. And step into your lunge. Whoo! Okay, 1 more time through that. All right, here we go. Step up to the box, hold. Woo! There we go. Flex the foot. Open the door. Close the door. Those cars. Right knee goes down, out, and back in front of the hip. Now we go out, down, and back up. Good. Find that long line hinge. Point the right toe. Don't be afraid to pause. Take a moment. Good. Come all the way back up. And step back into that lunge. And come all the way up out of that. Woo-wee. Okay. We reversed through that one. So that one very well maybe felt very different. We are going to end with some upper body jumps, okay? And it's going to get into the front line of the body again. So think a little more quad, inner thigh and pelvic floor. Grab your loop, okay? Turn and face your jump board. You're changing your springs. If you have an extra light spring, that is where I would like you to be right now. So that is one yellow in balanced body. In Marathon, it's a white. Whatever your extra light is. If you do not have an extra light, stay on your blue, okay? But just one spring, as light as possible. Knees are hips width apart, and I want you to get to the point where your kneecaps are off the front edge of the reformer. Okay, very important because I don't want you to load the knee joint here. I want you to rely on the quads, the inner thighs, and pelvic floor. Okay, now you're gonna take that loop around your forearms again. Okay, right around the forearms, halfway between the wrists and the elbows. Okay, you're gonna find a hover position. So I want you to start high kneeling. Front of the hips are open wide. Now with your sitting bones, right, the center of your glutes, you're gonna reach back for your heels, but I don't want you to sit on your heels. Okay, make sure your toes are not turned under. The front of your ankle is nice and flat. Okay, now your hands are gonna come to the jump board. All right, so right away, we think about ribs and hips in alignment. There's no flailing of the rib cage. The belly button is pulled up and back between our shoulder blades and my palms. I'm fighting for a full palm connection, just like I did with my feet. Okay, broaden your collarbone. Keep your hands shoulder width apart on your inhale. You're gonna roll through the palm and give me a little hop. Exhale, you're gonna come back. Inhale, exhale. Now, even though I've got your arms all bound up with this loop, okay, and I said these are upper body jumps, which they are, I want you to focus a little more on the lower half. Okay, inhale, we're still working through our back. Our arms plug into our back, they move from our back, okay, which connects them to the core. Ribs are wrapping, core is controlled. Okay, now right about now, you're probably starting to feel your quads. You're probably starting to feel your glutes a little bit. Beautiful, that's exactly what I want you to feel. When we start to rise up, I want you to focus a little more on your inner thighs and your pelvic floor. You're gonna wanna squeeze your glutes. I want you to resist that, and I want you to think about the inner thighs and pelvic floor narrowing. Here we go on your next one. You're gonna rise up, arms extended off the chest, come back. Rise, open your hips, come back and land. Your arms stay reaching off your chest. Okay, palms down. Good, your shoulders are not by your ears. When you come back to your hover, it's exactly that, a hover. You're not sitting on your heels. All right, there is no shoving through the upper body, it's nice and light. Okay, you're here for 6. We're gonna add a pulse out on the band in 5. I'm keeping you here a little longer because I really want you to focus on the lower half. 3, good, last 2. Last 1, let's add a pulse out on your band. As you rise up, you pulse out, come back to land. Pulse out from your back, not your shoulder, from your back. Good, think about the inner thighs narrowing. Good, pelvic floor narrowing. Excellent. 6, good, this is it. 5, we stretch in 4. I have a nice stretch for you, okay? 3, we left time for that. Last 2, good, last 1, and relax your arms. Take the band off, throw it on the floor. Take off all your springs, okay, no springs. Now the carriage is gonna slide real easily, so I need you to be careful. I'm holding onto my jump board, okay? I'm gonna rise up, and I'm gonna turn to my right. My right knee will stay on the carriage, but my left foot is gonna come inside the well, okay? So I'm facing the right side, side facing. Now we're gonna find a straddle stretch. So your right knee will stay bent, your left leg will stay straight, toes pointing forward. Your hands are gonna come to your frame as you let the carriage open up wide. All right, and I want you to find a straddle stretch, right? One leg is straight, one knee is bent. I want you to just open up those inner thighs as much as they're gonna go. Okay, you have the support of your upper body. All right, so allow for that. Okay, and really just think about breathing into this stretch. Please do not hold your breath. You're going as far as you feel comfortable, still maintaining some control, okay? Last 4. Good, you've got 3. Good, last 2. Good, now slowly, you're gonna pull that right knee back under the hip. Carriage is gonna come in. Okay, now you're gonna keep the right leg on the carriage, but you're gonna turn to face the rear. Okay, your right leg is gonna be in half lotus now, so right inner thigh shining up. Your left foot is still in the well, but I want you to come into a pigeon stretch. Okay, so you're sinking that right hip into the carriage. Okay, now your back toes, I don't care if they're turned under or if you want them to become flat, wherever you feel most comfortable and you feel like you're getting the best stretch. I'm focusing on the stretch on the right leg, okay? You're opening the front of your left hip, and that's nice too to release that hip flexor, but I really want you to feel the stretch through your right hip and glute and inner thigh. Okay, now, in this stretch, if you feel like you can go a little deeper, I want you to go ahead and fold over your right inner thigh. You can bring your hands outside the shoulder blocks. Okay, forearms down, and just hold that stretch and breathe. There's no holding your breath. I want you to continue to breathe for 4, for 3, for 2. Good, now you're gonna rise back up onto your hands. Keep this position, but now we're gonna twist. So I want you to take your hands to the right side of the frame, close to your box, and I want you to twist up and away using your arms to traction and pull. All right, so you're lengthening as you twist into that right side for 4, for 3, last 2, and come back through center. Now, hands on the carriage and frame. You're gonna step your right foot back into the well so it matches your left foot, okay? Now we're gonna find an L stretch. So both hands on your carriage, feet in the well, all right? I want you to go ahead and stretch your arms out in front of you. Your biceps frame your ears, so your eyes are looking at your toes. Okay, you've got a nice flat back, and I want you to soften your knees just a little bit. All right, so we really feel a nice big stretch through our hamstrings, through the glutes, and a nice release from the low back. All right, now, we're not gonna rise up, but I want you to pull the carriage towards you with flexion. So we're gonna arc the spine. You're gonna draw the belly button up towards the sky as you round the spine. Hands glide with the carriage closer to your knees. And then you go right back to that flat back, sending the carriage out, lengthening from the low back, reaching your sitting bones for the jump board behind you, ears between your biceps. Again, find flexion. Draw the belly button up like a puppet string is pulling the middle of your spine up towards the sky. And then right back to that L stretch. Good, 2 more times. Flexion and pull. The carriage glides super easy, right? So it's not a big pull. I'm asking for more articulation than anything else here in your spine. Spinal mobility. Okay, last time. Flexion and round. Good, and release back to that L stretch. And come all the way in. Now we're gonna do that pigeon on the other side. So left knee, hold the carriage and the frame so the carriage doesn't move on you. Left knee is gonna come to the carriage, inner thigh shining up. Right leg stays in the well. Okay, sink that left hip into the carriage. Lift your sternum so it's shining straight forward, just like that arc reactor we talked about, okay? You're opening the front of your right hip. If you want to relax your toes, you can do that, whatever feels most comfortable to you. For a deeper stretch here. All right, you're gonna fold forward over that left inner thigh, bringing your forearms down. Okay, that's absolutely fine. If staying up feels better today, then that's okay too. Whatever feels good in your body. Everybody is different. Every body is different, okay? So you don't always need what I need, and I don't always need what you need, right? So we need to be able to work and modify what feels right for us. Good, hold and breathe for 4. Good, last 3. Good, really think about sending that left hip towards the jump board too, down and back. Last 2. Good, now coming upright with our sternum, back onto our hands. All right, we're gonna twist to the left. So my left hand to the frame, right hand is also, and I'm gonna pull up and away as I twist into that left side. Continuing to breathe. Last 4, for 3. Good, last 2. Come back to center. Now let's find that straddle stretch. So hold on to the frame and carriage again. Come onto your left knee. Turn to face your box. Your left knee is on the carriage under your hip. Right foot is in the well, toes forward. Hands come to your frame as you open up that left inner thigh. I hit the rear frame, which is totally fine. If you hit the frame because the flexibility is there, great. Slide that right leg out a little further, closer to the jump board, okay? So you can get that stretch that you need through the inner thighs. Hold and breathe. Okay, there's no holding the breath. If you feel pain, that isn't good. Discomfort, yes. Pain, no. Okay, so I don't want you to work to the point of pain, but I do want you to find a little discomfort. Okay, you're here for 6. Last 5. 4, we have one final stretch in 3. Last 2. Good, let's draw that carriage all the way back in. Leave the springs off, both feet inside the well. I'm gonna turn and face you. I just want you to stand up, legs hips width apart. You're gonna bring those arms up and overhead. Nice big breath, okay? Left hand is gonna take your right wrist and you're gonna traction that right wrist up and over to the left, finding a little side bend. If you want to take your feet a little wider because that just feels comfortable and more stable for you today, then do that, okay? I actually want you to pull on the right arm. Think about taking that right arm up and out of your right hip. Hold for 4. Good, for 3, breathing. For 2, come all the way back to center. Right hand takes left wrist, same thing. Inhale. Up and over to the right. I don't want you to just go to the right. I want you to think about lifting up and then over. Tractioning that left arm, so give it a pull. Out of the left hip. You're breathing. Good, for 4. Last 3. Last 2. All the way up. And bring your arms all the way down. Guys, nice job. 60-minute reformer. Injury prevention for my runners out there. However, if you're not a runner, that's okay. That was a good workout. That was a good full body workout with some nice stretching included, which I don't always give you enough stretches. I know you ask for them all the time. So there was some nice stretching in there for you as well. All right, you guys, I do have several other workouts on the YouTube platform geared towards cyclists, runners, things like that. So look for them, skiers. Okay, look for them. If you are not finding everything you need on the YouTube platform, I have a platform of my own. It is called Pilates by JessPFit. We have over 450 workouts on there. I give you 4 live classes a week, 2 on the mat, 2 on the Reformer, okay? And then we upload weekly new classes onto that platform, anywhere ranging from 5 minutes all the way to 90 minutes, okay? So you have a plethora at your fingertips on the platform. So like I said, if YouTube is not enough for you and I don't drop enough on there, check out my platform, Pilates by JessPFit. I have everything you need, plus you get to talk to me one-on-one in those live classes, and we have a monthly check-in for all my members where I get to talk with you one-on-one. All right, so check it out. Drop me a comment below so I can talk to you. It's only me you get, so I love your questions. I love your comments. Keep them coming, and I will see you guys really soon.